Hello and welcome to this Scorpio inspired reading for July 2025. I am working with the symbolism of the tarot cards and the symbolism of Western astrology, to uncover new layers of consciousness, maybe find some new perspective, do some self-reflection. I see the tarot as a creative tool of self-reflection and nothing more and nothing less. So let's dive in, have some fun, have some insights, have maybe also some not fun. I don't know. It doesn't always have to be about fun. But yeah, let's try to have some fun. Excuse the background noise. You might hear an opera singer because I'm here in the middle of Vienna city center and there is people on the street singing opera. It's just what it is. I'm very blessed and lucky. But right now I think you might not be able to hear it. So yeah, let's start. Ooh, the moon card. Okay, Scorpio, we are diving deep. As always, I'm not surprised. Scorpio is always bringing the deep stuff out, and we are dealing maybe with a sense of unknown right now. We might not really know what's going on. We might not really understand it for sure on an intellectual level. We might not be able to rationalize it, but we know we need to go through it. It might be a little scary. It might bring up anxiety. It might be uncomfortable, even though for Scorpio probably not that uncomfortable, even though the moon is a Pisces card mostly, also somehow Cancer in a way, but we might not be super, I don't know, maybe Scorpio symbolism is very comfortable with going into the scary, the unknown. I don't want to generalize. I would probably not be super comfortable, but or the majority of people. But this is, it can be exciting at the same time. It can be exciting to go into the unknown. It can be exciting to dive a little deeper, and it can be exciting to uncover really some things that were hidden in the dark. You might want to go, or you might have to go through the dark before things become clear. It will not, with the moon card, it's often we walk through the dark without seeing, and afterwards we might be able, or we might be ready to unravel or to uncover what actually was going on there, but we might feel things on a very intense and deep level. Either way, you know, it doesn't have to be necessarily bad, but it can bring up some anxiety or fear, because our nervous system is just with the unknown very uncomfortable often. Some more, some less, but this is probably ooh, this is a lot of cards. It's too much, I'm sorry. But yeah, you might uncover and might realize after an experience or after this present moment, because it seems like it's in the present moment, it's in the now, that we are kind of in the dark. In the dark in a sense that we don't really know where to go, what to do, but we instinctively have to move through a situation that feels like, okay, I don't understand what's happening, but I still am gonna move. Ooh, Three of Swords. Oh man, Scorpio, always such a deep reading. What I see here, and this is specific, and the symbolism of Scorpio is just always bring up deep stuff. If you know, are a different zodiac sign, or if you don't really have a lot of Scorpio in your chart and you want to really go to the deep level and the deep readings, it's always Scorpio. So you can, anytime you're having to deal with something intense, deep, go to the Scorpio reading. We have a Three of Swords, and the Three of Swords is another very intense card that shows us our wounds, shows us our triggers, shows us our scars, and reminds us often of the hurt more than it actually is the hurt, in my opinion. With the swords, we can, the Three of Swords for me sometimes is really a card where we're like, imagine, you know, when it's a weird analogy, but when we go to skincare and stuff and scars, and sometimes, you know, dermatologists, they just make a scar bigger or irritate it so it can heal better, or they cut out like dead tissue, or they just like go deeper into the whole thing so it can heal better. Or surgeons, you know, they cut out a thing, and it kind of reminds me a little bit of that. And I was just reading recently, and I know this is going all over the place, but I feel like this is important information. When you have, you know, Scorpio in your 10th house, which is the house for your job and how you show yourself into the world, and what if you have Scorpio in your 10th house, what kind of professions are you going into? And it's like investigating everything that is hidden. And also, I was surprised, surgeons, which also makes sense because they go deep and cut things out that are dead material, or they are not needed. And maybe that's what we did. I feel like that's what we already did, or we identified maybe what needs to be cut out. Because this is what we're bringing into the situation, the Three of Swords. This is kind of behind us, but still it is part of the situation that we're in right now. And we are looking, we identified the sorrow, the uncomfortable feeling, the trigger point, but now we're kind of digging for it. We cannot really find it. It's just, it's like a little bit of a minefield, you know, when you're with a person in a relationship. I don't know if you've ever experienced that, but I did experience it actually with a Scorpio, which is hilarious. And I also have a lot of Scorpio friends. And sometimes it was like a minefield, you know. It was like, it was not that the person wanted to explode or wanted to necessarily be you know, having an intense reaction, but sometimes I was just like, oh, I didn't see it either, but you didn't see it either, and you didn't show me, you know. It's like, we're stepping onto something that is really intense. All of a sudden, where is this coming from, you know? And this is kind of tapping in the dark, and it feels a little dangerous. And I feel like that's what we are trying to do right now, maybe to make the territory, our emotional territory, a little more, to turn the light on, maybe. Let's see. Maybe we don't want to turn the light on. Let's see what the next card is. Oh, I already love this reading. Ooh, Prince of Swords. Well, yes, metaphorically turning the light on, and with the Hermit, we're really turning the light on because he is carrying the light. So it is a lot about dark and light here right now. We do have Wheel of Fortune, big growing moment. It is about gaining wisdom, and I think this is a very personal and deep developmental phase that Scorpio is in right now. And with the Prince of Swords, we're having a lot of ideas, we're having a lot of creative ideas, we're brainstorming. We might not be able to yet have a clear strategy and a clear thought and a clear solution and a clear answer, but we are finding ideas, trying out solutions, brainstorming. This is the Prince of Swords. I'm sorry. He is a very creative thinker. That's what he does. He's air and air. So this could be our mind going into analysis mode, but at the same time it's very wise. I don't think it's like this anxious energy where it's like mind going overboard because I don't know what's happening. It's more like, so let's look at a couple of ideas, let's look at a couple of strategies, maybe even mental health strategies, you know, what can we try out and where can we really find more. It's also, how is our own way of moving through this? What is our own way? Maybe we don't want an advisor. Maybe we don't want a therapist. I'm not saying, please, everybody go to therapy if that is your thing. And I'm a big believer in all kinds of different, you know, ways of getting help. But at this time, it seems like you do have the answers within you. And it is more about finding the light, not, you know, on the horizon, the sunrise, but more like the light in front of you. Because this lantern, it's a light that he is carrying with himself, and the light is always there, you know. The crack that is opening is also bringing the light. So that is also represented here with this rose in the middle. And we do also have the beetle, which is very fascinating. I love this reading. This is so deep. In the moon card, in Crowley's moon card, you do have this beetle here underneath the surface, who is carrying the light through this tunnel of darkness, which is kind of representing a birth, death and rebirth moment. So we do have the light within us that we can carry through this darkness. I know this sounds very poetic and kind of dramatic and pathetic also, but it is just what it is. And there is a lot of potential in this phase, because the Hermit speaks of potential and speaks of really paving the way, creating his own path. And he has all the secrets of how to create life within him. And it's very, 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 very fascinating. So, wow, this reading, I could probably go on for, 30 more minutes, but let's look into relationships. Whew, wow. So this other person, it can't be a specific person, it can't be romantic, it doesn't have to be romantic, it can't be just a relationship that's bothering us or that's inspiring us, or it can be just energies that we want to draw in right now or that we are drawing in right now. But it is people. I do see animals as people, but I do read for humans and not animals. If animals come up, I will let you know. Okay, this other person. Ooh, the Wheel of Fortune. Yes, we have it twice here, confirmation. Another one. Somebody is coming into our lives, or we are drawing people now into our lives that really help us grow. And that's what karmic people do. I think everybody helps us grow, and we can learn from everybody if we want to, but this is more like a karmic level. This is exactly the lesson that the universe is sending in for us that we need right now, even if it might be a tough lesson, or a difficult lesson, or a challenging lesson. I think still this is for growth. I still think this is very beneficial. And I think it's also for this other person, same thing. Wow. This reading. Another level. Ooh, the Star. And you do very much understand that this is exactly where you need to be right now. Wow. Because this is what Scorpios do best, like dig into the grind of human existence. And that's where you shine also. That's where people like Scorpio shines, in deep transformation, the taboos, where nobody wants to go, the uncomfortable, the hidden, the dark, the shady. And that is all where Scorpio feels very at home. Very at home. It is an emotional thing, though, I have to say. It is not so much a talking thing right now, even though there's a lot of swords. But yes, you're shining in this, and it brings you to, it might bring you together with a very significant person in your life, or in general significant people in your life that want to have that lesson with you, and that also can have that lesson together with you. It's not just like one teaching the other a lesson. It's like this is really exchanging energies and exchanging beautiful light energies, actually, with the Star card and with the Wheel of Fortune. And the Wheel of Fortune here brings this element of luck. For me, it's just, I don't want to read the Wheel of Fortune in the reverse, in a sense, because even if we have a tough lesson, it can be blessing in disguise, So, but I don't think you are necessarily what you're doing right now. I feel like you've done this a million times before, and you know that this is exactly where you're supposed to be. This is exactly what you need to go through, and you just finding maybe new ideas, maybe new strategies, and you carry the wisdom. It's like, oh, I've been here, I've been in the dark, I've been in the unknown, I've been in these places, I've met these people. This is all where I need to be. And that's a lot of trust. The Star always brings trust, brings authenticity, brings innocence, peace, brings the knowing that we are at the right place at the right time. I don't know why I'm shouting, but it needs to be said out loud. There is change. Somebody's bringing change. Also, I think this fell for the other side, the other person. Somebody is bringing change with them. And that might be the karmic element, because Scorpio loves change. You know, when you're when you change for Scorpio, oh my God, they will probably just love you till the end of time. But somebody's bringing change, very harmonious change within them, and that might be still, for some reason. With the Two of Pentacles, yes, we're in the very beginning, and we want to see when people say they change, you know, and I am really the last person who is telling you that you should go back to a person who is like, no, but I'm going to change. Seriously, 99% of the time, there is exceptions to every rule, but if you want to look at the rule book of every fucking, I'm sorry for cursing, psychology idea about relationships and toxic relationships, it is, you know, people coming back and being like, hey, I'm gonna change. It is most of the time not really their intention, but this seems like the change is already happening, and maybe it's people who are in the process of, it can be a new person, you know, but you're looking at it with caution, or not even with caution. You want to see it grow more. With the Seven of Pentacles, we want to see things grow, and we take a break and we look at it, and we maybe look at the things that are still missing. So we're a little bit in a moment of waiting. Because it says success unfulfilled in this card also, it's not necessarily that we fail so much. It's more, I mean, it's also in other decks it could be called failure, this card, but it's more about figuring out what needs to be done differently and what needs to change so we can make something grow even more. And who is the master of making things grow organically without forcing it? The Empress, and she's on the bottom of the deck. So this is kind of your position right now, to let things come towards you and to watch things grow a little bit and give them time. And maybe, you know, you have your own, it seems like you have your own battles to fight, but it's not a battle, it's more like a process that is happening right now that is very consuming, I want to say, on a personal level, and therefore it's all in its everything is in its right place. If you know that Radiohead song, everything in its right place. It's all supposed to be the way it's supposed to be. I will probably, if I don't forget, link the song in the comments. I love this song. It's a very beautiful song. And it reminds me of the star. It has star card qualities, this song, when I think of it. I've never made that connection, but yeah, I love it. All right, so let's look at one or two more oracle cards. Bluff. Oh, well, that is not a Scorpio card. It's a, what is this? A Saturn in Gemini, I think. Oh no, I'm sorry, it's Jupiter in Gemini. I did have a little dyslexic moment. I don't know, you know, I kind of have nothing to say, and maybe that's exactly the energy of this card. Say nothing. And I'm just gonna put this here and let people look at it. Gonna make all the Scorpios go paranoid. Let's pull one more. Submission. Well, submission speculation. Yeah, exactly. We kind of also have to now submit to this situation that we can speculate, but we are still in the dark a little bit, you know, and figuring, or like, that's why Scorpio, I think, goes so deep in general, because they have all these speculations emotionally, mentally. In reality, they see things, but it's at the same time they are also so wise that they know it's all a speculation. At the same time, there is no certainty here, and that's okay. And we have to submit to that, I think, in this month. Because it's the Scorpio is connected to the death card, and it is slow transformation, slow deep transformation. It is not you know, from one second to the other quantum shift. It is a slow organic way of change, harmonious maybe even. And we have that here. So, wow, yeah, okay, what a reading. Again, very, very intense energies. Thank you so much for being here. Please like, subscribe, comment, check out the description box. I tell you, there's a lot of interesting stuff. And I'll talk to you next time. Goodbye.